All right. I hope everybody is having a good day, man. Hope everybody is having a good day. Now, let me ask y'all something, right? At what point does a podcast stop being networking and start becoming a dating environment? Because that's what this Anton and Micca situation. I've been seeing Anton and Micca all over my timeline since Anton and Corey Holcomb got into it. And we're going to break down the psychology behind one of the most talked about situations. So hopefully you are updated, right? Now, Anton is trying to smash all the female panelists. That's why it's ludicrous to be involved with a female podcaster that exchange dialogue and conversations with other men, because you have to deal with men arguing or disrespecting your old lady. She shouldn't be arguing with other men if that's your woman, as in belong to you. Somebody yelling at my wife, I'm going to be ready to do something about that. So a female podcaster can definitely stir up some beef. You got to deal with niggas trying to take your girl down or put her in compromising situations, such as this situation with Micca and Anton. And it's not about being insecure. It's about respect. Men will die for their respect, right? Now, after this live stream with Jas, people are starting to connect the dots between her experience in the Micca situation, and the optics are getting interesting, right? It's gonna be, let's see, it's gonna be about 2:16. All right, let's get into it.
What it is. Instagram is for. I get people see me, but at the end of the day, it's for business. So they get on red.
Okay, cool. And
what's your name? Goat be one task. Sir, I was never that man's nothing. I was somebody on a panel. Okay, let's not tie me to him in that way by any means, shape, or form. Okay, like there's no connection there. All right, let's not do that. Let's not do that. I don't like that. I was just a guest, and that's it. That's it. Never, ever. Okay, but I'll keep it a buck.
So right now, she's trying to separate herself from the situation as basically being, a bust down for Anton. Somebody in the comments section basically was like, ain't you a part of the female panelists that be getting took down? And she like, no, man, like, I don't associate me with that, right? Don't associate me with that. And that's what just basically she's saying. That's what
I keep it a buck with y'all. Anton definitely asked me to come to Detroit before. He definitely DM'd me on that one day. And mind you, this was several shows after I had been on his panel. Right? And when he asked me, when you come into the D, I said, for what? What's in Detroit? And he said, you'll just have to trust me. It'll be fun. And I'm, fun in Detroit. I ain't never heard of that.
Yeah. So he basically was trying to get her to come to Detroit, right? And he didn't give no clear explanations on what it is that they're going to be doing during this time. Which is a red flag, right? I suggest that, you females stop flying out to meet men you never met, right? It's too much going on out here in the world. You should be getting to know somebody as much as possible before meeting up with them, right? Like, you should know as much as possible, right? And the only kind of interaction they've had was just, going back and forth on the panels. But if this situation with Anton and Micca has already been what it is, now she's bringing her truth. She's speaking, you know, how Anton pretty much asked her to come out, which is kind of a pattern, right? And you know, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Anton's content when he's talking on the panels. I'll be watching Dat Shack sometimes, and when I watch Dat Shack, this is how I'm familiar with, you know, all of these people, is because of Dat Shack, and he might play them like the most key moment out of that whole 4 or 5. They be going live for hours, right?
Never heard of that. Well, you'll just have to trust me. What difference does it make, right? He's talking to me. He's not giving me any. Now, if he's DMing me like this, somebody that he has gotten into it multiple times with, right? If he's DMing.
Yeah, they be going at it. They be going at it back and forth. You would not think that Anton and her had any relations, and he ain't give a damn. He like, come on out here and get some of this. He like, come on out here and get some of this. You know what I'm saying? Come to Detroit and be a part of the females I'll take down.
Me with this pimp talk, because that's exactly what it sounded like. You just gotta trust me. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. And I said, for what? What do you ask me? What do you ask me to come to Detroit to do? Right? Well, what difference does it make? You'll just have to trust me. I said, it makes all the difference. I need details. And
exactly. And the fact that he wasn't giving her no clarity based off what she's saying, right? He ain't giving no clarity. Like, just come on out here. We're going to have fun. Kind of leaving it up in the air. And I don't know if you caught it, but she had already mentioned that on that same live stream when Anton hollered at Jas, that earlier in the live stream, he was basically talking like, you know what I'm saying? If you're going to be in my inner circle and you're a pretty female, you're going to have to be going. And then later on, he hollered at her on some private shit like, yeah, come on out here and get some of this. Get some of this Willie D.
he said to me, just let me know when you're ready. Because you'll just have to trust me. Never spoke to him about it again. And it never played out. Why? Because I'm asking too many questions. I'm not excited because you DMing me asking to bring me to Detroit. For what, nigga? And this was like fresh off of the conversation that he had about having women that he worked with or are friends with, how they pussy got to be on the table for him. My pussy ain't never on the table. And you're not going to parade me around like, you know what I'm saying, like Micca, like Molly, like Q, or whatever the case may be. No. Now, if he would have DM'd me, yo, Jas, I got a cool idea.
And I like the fact that she asked a lot of questions. I always recommend, you females, you ask as many questions as possible, right? You got to, because these niggas, they be on some shit, boy.
Do something. I know we look like enemies, but maybe we could collab and do something, that'll help you grow in your channel. If he would have came at me like that, I would have like, can I bring my nigga? Can I bring my man? Because if it's strictly business, it shouldn't be a problem. We could do it. We could do a double day.
And you gotta understand that, you know what I'm saying? Clout is a hell of a drug. Attention is a hell of a drug. And a lot of people, I'm talking about a lot of people, right, are going, let's use this example. Females if females want clout and a man got money and clout, right? They'd be willing to be down to do almost anything, right? You know what I'm saying? And you do have females that do have class, do respect themselves, right? Such as Jas, right? Jas is giving you the blueprint, the one-on-one on if you is gonna be a female podcaster, this is how you gotta move. Regardless, you know, the arguing with men and you know what I'm saying, going back and forth and the internet clowning you. I can't put my wife in that position. You shouldn't put your wife in that position, right? But you know, it's 2026. You know what I'm saying? You know, everybody feel like they could do any and everything. But this is not good for a man's image. If he's in a relationship with you, it's not a good image, regardless. So now that you didn't took it a step further, and now you meeting Famo and you meeting Famo in person, it's a different story. And I never really seen them do content. Anton and Micca, I never seen them really do content in person. Anybody other than that interview, it just been, you know, you seen them take a couple of photos being together.
You and your but
So what work are y'all doing together when y'all together?
he never got that far because I didn't have stars in my eyes. Micca said as soon as he DM'd her, she was like, yeah, I'll go do the interview. Yeah. I'm asking like, what we on? What you on? Come to Detroit for what? I heard it's so cold in the D. Fuck you want me out there for? What difference does it make? He's a pimp. Or
Hey, low key, man. Jas, I ain't gonna lie, Jas, you know, like I said, because I've been familiar with, you know, with them by what, because I watch That Shack, right? On YouTube, That Shack. Go follow him, man. A lot of people don't like Jas because she always give pushback, you know, in these manosphere, red pill space. She always give pushback. Now, and she's a goalpost. She moved the goalposts a lot. That's what kind of hurts her in these debates and these conversations is that she moves the goalposts. And it's like, well, we not really, you turned the conversation into something else. But I do rock with Jas because even though she's a classy woman to me, a lot of people think that she got masculine qualities, but you ain't got no choice but to have masculine qualities when you're a female podcaster, right? It's not to say we don't know how she acts when she's in a relationship with her man, right? But you gonna want your woman to know how to deny, say no, turn stuff down, ask questions. You know what I'm saying? I don't see her as a masculine woman because where I come from, you don't have to be feminine to all these men that's out here. You don't need to be feminine with a bunch of. If you gotta attack, right? Because you're gonna have to be able to protect yourself when I'm not with you, right? Of course, want you to be soft, sweet, and feminine 100% of the time with me, right? And I want you to still be feminine out there in the world, but you don't owe no niceness to nobody, right? And Jas gives off that image like you can't really put her in any situation that she don't want to be in.
the wannabe. And unfortunately, he got one with Micca. I'm not being successful in this space is definitely a goal of mine for sure. But I don't need to put myself in nefarious situations or a situation that'll make me look bad just because the person that's asking me to hang out got a bunch of followers and a bunch of subscribers because he like to talk shit.
And that's what it's about. It's about that clout. Clout is a hell of a drug. Clout is a hell of a drug, people. Attention is a hell of a drug, and that's what it's all about. Jas just hit the nail on the coffin. It's a sad situation, you know, that because somebody got a lot of money, they got a lot of subscribers, right? And they can help your career, you'll compromise integrity. You know what I'm saying? You'll be married and taking pictures, right? You'll be married and you taking photos like this. You'll be taking photos like this. With, you see how Micca leaning into him. You know what I'm saying? He got his arm. Come on, man. That look like they together. They look like they together. And as a female podcaster like Micca, female podcaster who's married, this is not looking good, right? Everybody's already kind of past this point, right? It's been more information that then came out about Micca, right? And she then took photos with all kinds of celebrities. I swear, if I could find that, I'll play that one, or I might do a video, you know, breaking down the psychology on that. But yeah, pretty much she been out there. That's what it looked like. When a female is taking a bunch of photos with a bunch of different men, it's going to be hard for another man to take you serious. That's why their lives are kind of separate. They do their own thing, even though that they married and everything is on a hush hush. If you ask me, they already separated, but they just still legally married. But why don't you just say that? Micca not being honest about her situation. We're going to get into some of the video of that interview. I want to break down that part, that photo with the interviewer and Micca having a conversation about it. So we'll get into that in a second.
No. So if he's DMing me like this, I know for sure if he's DMing any of these other women, it ain't on no professional nothing. It ain't business. He trying to holler. Okay? Of course, he's going to frame it that way. But the fact that you couldn't even tell me the reason why you wanted me to come to Detroit after we have been going head to head with each other. Damn near every show. You want to talk to me? That lets me know I bring value to you.
And that's an interesting thing. Micca I never really see her say much. Like, the only value that she bring is beauty. Like, she's a pretty woman, right? But Jas is also a pretty woman too. But see, Jas is gonna bring viewers. She's gonna bring, because she's going back and forth, right? She definitely brings value. If anybody should have been getting paid, it should have been her. Anybody who should have been blowing up anybody's platform, it should have been her. But see, Anton has already let it be known that he not trying to deal with no females who ain't giving it up. Jas ain't giving it up. She didn't compromise to get subscribers. She didn't compromise to, you know, her integrity, right? And it's proof. Like, if she could have easily flown out there with Anton. She could have easily, used him to boost her subscribers. She not really willing to do that for money, right? That's how women gotta move. We gotta start giving women their flowers, and this is why I want to point this out. Because as much as I disagree with a lot of Jas points, right? If I was the CEO of a large company, I would have her run it, because she know how to give pushback, right? And that might be a situation where that toughness that she got to use for her job, she might bring it home. That's always a possibility, right? More than likely. If you out there in the world, you got to be tough in the world. You're gonna come back home, and if you ain't got a man who could stand on business, then you have a masculine woman. But how I determine whether a woman is masculine or not is how is she with her man. We don't have no proof on that. We only see her on the podcast yelling at people, yelling and going back and forth. But she brings 10 times more value than Micca, right? Because podcasting is not about looks. Don't nobody care about you sitting there just looking pretty all the time. Don't nobody care about that. We want to know where your brain at, right? And like I say, as much as I disagree with a lot of stuff Jas say, and it's not like Jas be saying stuff that be wrong. It's just that she focuses on the minority of situations. When you focus on the minority of situations or the minority of generalizations, it's not being accurate, right? But either way, you know, I rock with her as a person, and she got to be from the Midwest. She got to be from the Midwest because, see, I'm from Chicago, so I understand her, the way that she communicate. I can relate to Jas, right? I can relate and understand her whole mindset and the way that she kind of talks. She kind of animated, right? But I rock with Jas, and yes, she brings a lot more value than Micca. And she say she wanna be in this successful in this space. So y'all go subscribe, man. Subscribe and watch. She's interesting and she's funny, and she is 10 times more value than Micca in this podcasting space.
But you're not gonna use me to look like one of your little honeydews, your little honey dips. Oh no. So yeah, y'all. That's why I'm like, you can't fool me, because the way he move, it's not professional. It's not, flat out. But let's keep going. That was my little story I wanted to share. I got asked to get flown out too, and I was like, for why? And he was like, bitch, never mind. He was like, man, fuck it. Damn, Jas, shit. Yeah. And best believe I was bringing my nigga. What? Yeah, make sure you give me a room. I'm gonna bring my man. Because he helped me with my business. I bet you I wouldn't have been able to come.
So you really didn't have a following on YouTube. So basically he left.
Jas, she remind me of some of my cousins in Minnesota. Like, not only the way that she act, the way that she talk, but also the way that she look. Like, she looked like she could be one of my cousins from Minnesota. Shout out to my cousins in Minnesota, man. Shout out to my cousins in Minnesota. Shout out to them. They're my dogs. All right. Subscribe to Keisha. She been doing all the investigation work, right? She making it easy for everybody else because she been doing some investigation work. Also, who is that? House of Hypocrites, No Captivity with Freezy. Them three, they've been talking a lot about it. And Goat B1 Taz. That's the one who asked her the question, like, aren't you the one who is a part of the female panelists? Like, ain't you one of, and she put him right in his place, like,
his platform and gave you a following.
He definitely leveraged his platform. And he,
again, like I just stated, and then I'm gonna let it play. She had no followers on YouTube. 1,200 is damn near no followers. You just get monetized with 1,000. You had 1,200 followers. Why would somebody reach out to you? You have no followers. You're barely monetized to do an interview with you. What would be the reason? Use the brain that God gave you. Even if you don't have no brain, Why would she think that Anton reached out to her to do an interview with somebody with no followers that don't nobody know? That makes absolutely no sense. But I want y'all to listen to her try to prove to the interviewer how smart and articulate that she is, and doesn't want to believe that Anton reached out to her for any other reason other than for some reason she's something that somebody or we never saw before. Okay, we never heard of her. Man, we don't know you. But she deflects and she even lies. So let's just finish listening.
Did you go to Detroit to see him for business? Yes. So me and Anton are going to be doing a full sit down.
We're just leveraged his platform. And he also was able to teach me how to use YouTube effectively because, you know, I tell a lot of people, Anton has pretty much mastered YouTube. So when I did go out there, I pretty much studied. I watched what he did. I watched how he talked to people on YouTube, how he talked to his following, his subs, and I learned a lot.
Let me ask you a question. If you were ugly, have you ever thought about being ugly? Because you're not ugly. If you were ugly, do you think Anton would have leveraged this platform with you?
I really can't get into what I think Anton would have done, honestly, but I'm not unaware that I'm attractive or that people find.
I'm telling you right now, the only reason why Anton hit up Micca is because of her beauty. That's it. The way that she looks, her body, her face, that's it. I've seen Micca maybe about 5-6 months ago. She talks about politics. She's more on the Republican conservative side. But as you see, it's all a lie. She is not really conservative. We know that for a fact, right? She's Republican. And that's the movement she's pushing. But it don't come off real. And she's not really entertaining like that, right? She's not really entertaining at all. So I don't know what value he saw in you other than clapping those cheeks, right? Other than that, I don't know. And that's allegedly. There's still no proof. There's still no actual proof that they laid down together. But at this point, it's a whole lot of information out there. But after seeing all the information I done seen, he definitely is. He definitely is. You got to understand that it's a safety risk when you're a female podcaster, because the more you grow, the more people are watching you, right? Online threats become real world tension, right? Harassment, you got to worry about harassment. It's a safety risk. So as a man, like I say, man, be careful of who you deal with, and don't deal with female podcasters.
You're in business, you're in this crowd.
Sure.
You absolutely understand that there are networking opportunities. If I know so-and-so and I bring you with me,
Sure.
and so-and-so sees you,
Correct.
oh, you can make networking opportunities. And you also know that it does not happen in a vacuum. It does not happen in offices.
Correct.
It does not happen. You can be at the golfing, you can be at the NBA games,
Correct.
all types of things. So again, kind of like just like the thing we were talking about with it just being the fact that it's just that person that is the business entity. I also think that when people don't know business or people have never experienced what it's like to network, especially with people that are upper echelon.
Y'all ain't got no business. What Martin used to say to Tommy, you ain't got no job. Yeah, y'all ain't got no business.
They don't understand that these things don't happen in just offices. these things don't happen in a particular place. So there are a lot of high rollers and business people. Like there were people there that were part of the NBA.
Sure.
The guy that owns the actual arena.
Yeah. Yeah.
All there.
Yeah.
All the mayor, like all there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, the former mayor.
The former mayor, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the difference, and you know this because we work together.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to how critical it is for the male that you're working with, particularly when it's sort of independent and we are being seen and these sort of pictures come about. It's important to meet and know your husband. And I'm not saying he isn't a man of character because I don't know Anton. And I'm not here to vilify him. I'm just going based off how things look and what the concerns have been in the public.
I understand, but that's why I don't mind. That's why I don't mind talking about it, because there's nothing nefarious that I ever had going on. And again, I never do anything unless my husband knows.
So your husband knew that you were going to this business meeting.
My husband knew that I was where I was.
No, that's not. Let's be very clear with language. So I want to be clear with my question.
Okay.
Did your husband know that after the show, the interview was over, you were going to a basketball, not a basketball, you were going to a meeting at an arena where a basketball game was?
I don't remember if I told him before or after, but I did tell my husband. Mm-hmm.
Woo! That is a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is a problem. So she's trying to say, I don't remember if I told him before or after. See, a wife does not get put in compromising situations to where they have to explain themselves this much, right? Regardless of what business or field that they in. So the fact that she is using that because she knows she didn't tell him before, right? And he might have found out after. So she said, I don't know if it was before or after. These are people who lie like this are pretty damn good. But where I'm getting at is how you don't remember that. How you don't remember that. That's something that you would remember as a wife. As a wife, that's something that you're going to remember distinctively, because this doesn't happen. Now, if this happens every day, all day, of course, yeah, you're not going to remember. Your line ain't being your phone line is not going off that much, right? Let's get into
You
it.
talk, but
Of course.
when you say you don't remember
Meaning
before
like-
or after,
meaning like
is
I
it
can't-
fair to say you told him after?
No, it's not fair.
Because how do you not remember that?
Because I don't remember everything about that day.
No, but you're a married woman. A married woman who goes, and I want to be fair to you, but I want us
Because to me, everything that I'm doing is business. So again,
But a married woman doesn't forget if she told her husband she went somewhere
because
before or after.
No, you're trying to pinpoint a time frame, and I'm telling you, I don't remember my
not a
time frame.
not a
but
time frame.
I tell my husband everything. So yes, I did, and I posted this. This is
Yeah.
my picture.
Yes.
So again, if I was trying to hide it,
So
if
yeah.
I didn't want my husband to know it, I wouldn't have never posted.
So you think?
So she want everybody to believe that her and Anton is just business partners, as if this was not gonna get out. Ain't no way y'all look at that picture. Look at that picture. Business partners take pictures like that. They look like they is having the best time of their life. Yeah, it look like they having the best time of their life, bro.
Posted and makes you innocuous.
No, I'm telling you that I don't hide anything. I have nothing to hide. And so if I wanted to hide something from my spouse, I would have never put
Let's
it.
look at the next picture. I thought the next picture was really, really interesting. And in this next
But
picture...
wait, why are you leaving that one? Why are you leaving? Why are you leaving that one?
Well, is there more you want to expound?
No, but
Okay.
it's something that you want to expound on because
you said why I'm leaving that picture to go to the next one? Mm-hmm. Because I felt like you gave clarity. What I heard you say was it wasn't a basketball game I was invited to. Correct. I was invited to a business meeting. Correct. I heard you say I went for an interview, and after the interview, I was asked and I accepted the offer. Okay. I heard you say that I apprised my husband, or you told your husband this is where you were going. You couldn't remember if it was before or after, but either way, your husband knew. And the final thing you said was...
So he's you gotta understand, man. Like, see, this dude's like Adam 22. Adam 2 and 2. In certain ways, you got to do stuff on YouTube. But yeah, you got guys like Adam 2 and 2. You know that white guy with the tattoos who let all those goofy rappers come on his podcast that snitch on themselves. Yeah, buddy ass. That guy. I know you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, that guy that lets his wife get ramsacked by a bunch of Kuta Kinte looking motherfuckers on video and then call it content. Think about that. Think about that. How can you live with yourself? Your woman is getting towed down from the flow down, and y'all saying it's just content. What? I guess that's just kind of like what they do. That's what they do. And female podcasters are like in the same boat. It's just you don't see them doing things that are, like the same thing an adult film star would do. They're not doing those exact same things. But yeah, come on now. Getting ramsacked and then calling it content. You see how they trying to change things? No self-respect, no dignity. How can you honestly say you care about your wife if you allowing other men to blue 42? You know what I'm saying? Have the same relationship or put in the same position as the quarterback and center does on a football field game. Insane work. Insane work. If a man is okay with you getting bang broed, he do not care about you. End of story. He don't give a damn about you. Yeah, he don't give a damn about you. But nowadays you got these 2026 creatures, right? These they try to make it seem like everything that is not normal. They want to make things that are not normal. Insane work.
Posted the picture.
Correct.
I have nothing further. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Next picture. I was flabbergasted by this picture.
Okay, tell me why.
Because there's no way my wife would be physically touching, leaning on a married man, leaning on a single man, leaning on another man in a way that suggests I'm feeling you, I like you. This is really some sort of...
Why do you think that says I'm feeling you?
Even if it doesn't say I'm feeling you, I don't want my wife...
Why do you think that suggests that I'm feeling you? Because
I don't think anybody want their wife looking like that. I don't think anybody want their wife taking a picture with another man like this. I don't care if it's big. You call this business, right? This is not a movie. Y'all willingly took a photo. And see, I'm not tripping on Anton too much because him and his wife, they don't give a damn, bro. They don't care. Right? They've already exposed many times that they don't. Either, look, Anton is in a position where either he can hit any chick he want and his wife won't care, right? Or they hitting her together. Or they hit female podcasters together. You know what I'm saying? This is about him taking down the females on his panel, bro. So I'm not tripping on him. He's not my main focus. It's Micca, because Micca is a woman. She's a lady, right? Somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to do it. But we need guys like me to tell you as a woman, or tell your daughter, right, to respect yourself, have dignity. Money should never compromise who you are as a person. Like, you should not be put in these kind of situations to where the world is talking about it. Now, I guess it's good when it comes to money, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to live your life. You got to worry about how people think about you, right? Relationships don't last forever. You may not have your husband in a year or two. You may not have Anton in a year or two. You may not have neither one of these people in a year or two, right? So what happens next, right? Then let's say if you do want another healthy relationship in the future, you think a man gonna want you? And I'm not gonna lie, looks are deceiving, because when I stumbled across her months ago, I'm like, she seems like a lady with a head on her shoulders. That's just watching her on the podcast. She got a head on her shoulders. She talked nice, soft, sweet. She seemed real feminine. You know what I'm saying? She don't subscribe to the democratic view or way of living, right? Not that I'm a fan of Republicans either. But if I had to make a choice, yeah, it most certainly wouldn't be no doggone Democrats. That's for sure. But I ain't gonna lie, looks are deceiving, because you could be. That's why you got to pay attention to what people do and not what they say. Because I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was a sweet, wholesome woman. And that's just based off what she say, how she move, and how she acts. But I never seen all of this. I actually saw this picture. I didn't think nothing of it, because I thought that they was close like that. But I did not know Micca was married. People just found out about this. So it's like, come on, you a female podcaster. You are a public female figure. And nobody knows you got a husband? What are we talking about? It's crazy.
Okay, let's
hold on.
omit.
No, hold on. The reason why I'm asking you,
Okay.
the reason why I'm asking you is I have tons of pictures of our former co-hosts
Yep.
with the same lean, everything.
But here's the difference.
Hold on.
Yes.
And that person is also a male, all right? And we have a working relationship, and it's the same exact type of picture.
But here's the disrespect. This is a married man that you are physically leaning into.
I'm not leaning into.
That to me,
I'm not leaning into.
to me, and
There's space there.
here's my perspective.
That is a lie. My bad, I forgot to put it up. That is a lie. Sheesh. I'm not leaning into him. You are leaning into him. If he stepped back, you'd fall. If he took 2 steps back and your hands were still like this, you would fall forward. You are leaning. Stop lying, Micca. Stop. See, in her marriage is so secretive to the world that is what's getting her caught up in all these lies. It has nothing to do with her relationship with Anton. It's the relationship that she has with her husband. And that's why she got caught up in so many freaking lies on this interview. It's ridiculous.
There's a gap between it, but I'm looking at how you have a smile on your face. This is just my perspective. Your eyes look seductive. Just my perspective. And your arm is relaxed on his upper shoulder.
Correct.
And I would never imagine a married woman leaning on a business male partner that way. That to me is inappropriate. That's if you were my wife, I would have a serious problem. My problem would be so serious, you would have to probably extinguish your contract with him.
Okay.
Just because, and I will also feel a little uncomfortable that this gentleman obviously did not either push you away or suggest that we shouldn't take this type of picture. I've never met your husband. I fly you out here once or twice. This is this may not be the first time. So which point was this? Not that it matters if it was the third time, the fourth time.
This is the second time.
The second time?
This is the second time I'm out there. Not the second time I'm dealing with Anton.
Okay, so what's and it doesn't matter to me, but what's that gap between the first time you're there, he takes you to a business meeting at a basketball game, and you guys are sitting on the floor like you are
that we're working together? And it's not like that.
Well, that's not working together.
Go back to what you just said.
Is that working together?
No. Go back to what you just said.
Which part?
It's not that. No, you said a couple.
Well, pick one.
No, you said sitting on the floor like you are a couple.
Yeah, listen. I'm not.
But you're interjecting your own thoughts, especially.
I'm giving you my perspective.
But your perspective is after I told you. So to put something else there.
Okay, I see. That's fair. Okay, so
something else on it.
I think that's a fair.
Well, he got her fighting for her life. He got her fighting for her life. Shout out to Talk Perspective. Shout out to Talk Perspective, man. He did a good job. He did a good job in this interview with trying to make getting down to the bottom of this. Trying to make her fold.
I think that's a fair point. I don't want to spin it. What I want to say is messaging, imagery is critical because imagery is messaging.
Correct.
And a lot of times on the Jumbotron at a game, we often see couples, whether you're high up or you're on the floor. A lot of times when people are on the floor, you see.
Do you sit at the game?
Do I sit at the game?
Correct.
Yes.
Do you sit at the game on the floor?
I have.
No. Do you all the time?
No.
Okay. All right. So who have you met at these games on the floor?
This is my show, not yours. I'm not answering the questions.
Oh, okay. And the reason is
I come on your show, then we can get into that.
However, the reason I asked you is to give perspective, right?
Yes.
Because what I found, because I'm usually in the skybox.
Yes.
When I'm here in DC, I'm in my box. I don't like to be down on the floor. That's not my thing.
Sure.
On the floor, there are family members there. They are some of those people. A lot of them are like business seats.
Yep.
So anybody from these law firms, offices, are down there on the floor.
Yep.
That I've never known who sits down on the floor because I don't care and I don't sit there, right? But by being there, I found out who was actually down there, family members, business partners, all of that. That's what that.
Listen.
So hold on.
Yes.
So again, I'm not disputing your perspective as far as people that don't know.
Yeah.
Right? That's fair. But when you are in that world and you are in the know, and you know more than just I I would say the popular culture of
Sure.
who might sit down there, right? Because you might see your favorite rapper, things like that. But all those people that are sitting beside the rapper, you absolutely don't know why they're there.
But two married people
hold on.
shouldn't be
But you
sitting
don't
together without their spouses.
No. Now, see, and here we are again with you going back to something that's not, because you are essentially saying that I cannot do any business dealings with somebody that is in business because that person is married.
No, what I'm saying is somebody who's never met your husband.
Because if I go out with you or anybody
And
else,
I met your husband.
okay, but
The former host has met your husband.
We've already talked about that.
Yep.
But what I'm saying is, you're saying because you don't know when you're looking at that picture. You don't know if you met him or not.
I know he hasn't met your husband. When I looked at that picture, let me, and maybe because I have.
She trying to say, but nobody knows. Nobody knows. We already know. So there's no reason for playing semantics or whatever game you trying to play. Like, come on now.
Inside knowledge.
Yeah, that's why. So my point is, you don't know.
But I don't have to know to know that that's inappropriate. Let me say this, and maybe you just don't see it. You can't see how this could be construed.
That's not what I said.
Okay, Okay, so do you see this as being inappropriate?
We just talked about what it can look like imagery-wise.
So let me ask you.
Can't answer simple questions. Does this photo... Micca, come on now. Does this photo look inappropriate? That is a yes or no. This is a huge problem for me because not everything needs a whole bunch of context to it. Life is not that difficult. And this happened many times in this interview. She could not answer simple questions. She had to add nuance to it. Anytime you have to add nuance or context, you can always have the ability to manipulate the truth. Right. You have the ability to manipulate the truth. And that is what Micca is trying to do because she can't take accountability. She could have been a real one and said, yeah, you know what? That dude kind of look inappropriate. I wish I could take it back. It's nothing I could do now. We got to move forward. But yeah, it is inappropriate. She is fighting for her life. And this is what we got to understand because there's a boundary confusion. Yeah, there's a boundary fusion with male guests when you're a female podcaster. Right? I mean, people are going to view flirtatious energy framed as entertainment, right? Chemistry used for engagement. Viewers are not going to be able to tell the difference between performance and reality, and this is the manipulation tactic that she is using. Boy, Master Quincy got some great psychological breakdowns. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. That is the manipulation tactic that she is using. Like, you guys can't tell. Y'all ain't did no damn movie. Y'all talking on panels and giving y'all perspectives. And what y'all trying to do is act like, oh, it's a game. It's content. Like, no. Absolutely not. You are not going to fool me.
Get the imagery. Is this inappropriate to you?
From my perspective, it wasn't because that's not what I was doing. But I told you, I can understand why people might have thought that, but I literally did not have anything going on or anything. Like, there's nothing inappropriate going on. So me just leaning.
So just because there's nothing inappropriate going on, I can inappropriate take a photo leaning on another man while my husband is somewhere else. Y'all understand what she's saying? Do you get it? She said, just because there's nothing inappropriate going on, so that means that I can take inappropriate pictures. It's crazy.
Didn't seem like an issue to me.
Okay, so here's some hard.
Didn't seem like it was an issue to me. So, is it inappropriate or is it not? She still ain't answered the question. Look at the photo and say, by us both being married, is this picture appropriate, yes or no? It has nothing to do with whether y'all do something other than taking photos together. Y'all see how manipulation can steer you away from the truth? Because I can add so many nuances and complex thoughts that could just throw you off. But you can't deny this. You can't deny that. And this is just the small part. This is just the small part. It's a lot more to it. And I'm not the researcher, you kind of YouTuber. So I'm not doing a bunch of research on this. I don't give a damn about none of this. I just think it's interesting to break down. Not doing research. I'm not. Look, only thing I'm going to do is give you psychological breakdowns and point out things that you may have not missed. But I'll leave the researching up to Lakeisha Keisha and the House of Hypocrites. I'll leave that up to them. The hardcore researching, and I'll leave the narrating to that Shaq. That Shaq is more like a narrator. Like, he narrates the conversations. Me, I like to give psychological breakdowns because I think that is important, and educational, because I'm all about education. I don't really care about all this drama and stuff, but I know you guys do. I know a lot of people that do, right? So might as well break down the hot topics.
I really, really need to ask you. First one is, it may not be as hard, but here it is. Are you going to continue working with Anton?
Well, I do not. Well, I have not been on after hours since the whole incident happened.
That's not answering my question.
I'm not finished.
Okay.
So I haven't been on after hours since the incident happened. And I felt that, there were a lot of things that
Yeah. I'm live right now. You gotta watch what you say. I'll be in a minute.
not.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this. I gotta pee, and I'm not coming back. Once I leave, I'm not coming back. But yeah, my whole presupposition is leave these female podcasters alone, bro. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. Right? You're not gonna find too many like Jas, but even Jas still gets caught up in a lot of discussions and conversations with men. I just can't see my woman. I can't see the woman that belonged to me sit up there arguing and going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Without me coming in the room, cut this off. It's either gonna be cut this off or let's find out where he stay. Cause I'm not finna have you disrespecting my woman, but my woman, she don't put herself in these compromising situations. Peace, Master Quincy. I'm out.